How's it going? This is Chris with Chris's Comments, a site about common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. And this subject, once again, we're having to talk about anti-Asian hate. Guys, you gotta stop attacking these Asians. Asian Americans here in the States. They are not your enemy. You're attacking the wrong people. I've already brought this up on a video that I titled "Stop the Hate, You're Attacking the Wrong People." That's the title. Guys, I forgot the information and I wrote it down, but I forgot it. And so I can't give you any actual names. Not on this one. There was a few names that I mentioned in "Stop the Hate, You're Attacking the Wrong People" video, where I actually posted their names. So let me go ahead and post it out here. Let me go ahead and state this again, even though I'm not putting out all of the exact information like the way I did the first time. Okay, this hate towards Asians, I'm sure all races have ups and downs and occasionally bumping heads. That's not what I'm referring to. What I am referring to are the people that are accusing Asians of bringing the coronavirus into the States. And the thing is, we know that. We all know that. But it's not Asian people that are doing it. It's an organization in Asia that's doing that. It's the CCP that's responsible for it, not Asian people in general. And here's what I mean. It started in Wuhan, like the way everybody is saying, but it started with this doctor, a scientist, that made this discovery of COVID-19. It made discovery of this airborne virus. He reported it to the CCP, the current organization that's ruling China right now. CCP quarantined that man because he also got infected. Quarantined that man, separated everybody from him, and recorded his death. It affected him so bad that it wound up not just messing up his respiratory system, but damaging his liver, causing his whole flesh to blacken, and followed with the collapsing of the lungs and the deterioration in the brain. The CCP could have just taken this guy's word for it, but because he followed orders, he did the right thing, they quarantined him and recorded his death. Some of that video got leaked out to the rest of us out around the world, and that person got sentenced to prison. The person that leaked it out. Now, this virus was traveled through the fish and frozen foods industry. Here's the thing. The frozen food markets and the fish markets noticed the contaminated meat and fish and reported it. They reported it to their government. The government being the CCP. The CCP ordered them to continue shipping. Those that refused were thrown in prison. They had no more voice. A few of them did leak out the information that it got sent out, that they still got shipped out. But most were forced to ship out or go to jail, go to prison. And a few of them did go to prison. The rest followed orders. Otherwise, there would have been a problem. But they also eventually leaked out. Yeah, it came from our ports. It came from our seaports right outside of Wuhan. So you've got Asian citizens doing the right thing. Okay? You got Asian citizens doing the right thing. They're not keeping this a secret. They're not filled in on this. Now, that's just in China. In the UK and here in the States, there were a couple of Asian scientists that discovered this stuff spreading around and where it could be traced. And it all confirmed that it was coming out of the laboratories of Wuhan. The CCP, get this, the CCP demanded that Trump and the one in charge of the UK gather those scientists to collect all the data and the research that proves this and have them expedited immediately to China, where they were to handle the investigation. Now, one actually went back and is now missing. Okay? Vanished off the face of the earth with the data that he took with him. A woman Chinese scientist is in hiding, as is the one over in the UK. These are people that are doing their job, their duties, their civic duties to report what's going on. So for those of you who are out here attacking any Asian, whatever the hell, an old person, a kid, some young lady that was about to get assaulted on a New York subway, nobody was there to defend her except for one homeless man that, he was probably sickly. He probably could have gotten himself beat up, if not beaten to death, by this guy that was about to assault a woman, an Asian woman, on the subway. He was the only one. The homeless man was the only one that was there to help her, and so it's very clear. And now this old man that was collecting cans in East Harlem, he got assaulted and stomped on. He got his head stomped on. He's in very critical condition. So it's also pretty clear that Asians are getting assaulted, particularly when they're alone and unarmed, and not even when they're seen, because it turns out the guy that kicked him down, his back was already turned to the attacker. Also, same thing with the old Asian lady that was kicked to the ground and kicked repeatedly in front of a store where those wussy store employees took notice and just closed the door to make sure that he didn't get inside the store. But he was out there right outside the front door kicking this woman down, telling her, "You don't belong here," when that's far from the truth, especially once you take into fact of everybody that was standing up to the CCP, starting with reporting what was coming out of the laboratories. Stop hating the Asians. Stop hating the Asians. You're not attacking the right people anyway. You're not attacking the right people. You gotta stop this. You gotta stop looking at them as the enemy. They're not the enemy. They're following their civic duties, reporting this crap of what's going on, and some of them are not coming back by their own government, by their own nationalist government. They're being X'd out. So you here in the States who are holding some kind of grudge or thinking that some kind of conspiracy, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not accurate. It is 100% incorrect. The Asians that you guys are attacking are the same Asians that would report wrongdoing no differently than you and I. Except you, the people of hate, you're just giving into it. You're feeding off of hate, giving into hate, and you're destroying people that don't deserve any of that. If you seriously want Asia to be taught a lesson, fine. Go join a military coup. Go out and fight. In fact, I've even pointed this out in a previous comment. Join a military or militia. Go join an army. Go to some country that's got a problem with. India has got a problem with the CCP. They keep attacking Indian civilizations along the Chinese-India border. The Philippines has got some problems with the CCP. They're sending boats disguised as fishing boats, scattering them all around the Philippines, pretending to fish for their fish, the Philippine fish, the tilapia, and instead are attacking the Philippine fisher people, which is a small concern for us here in the States. I understand that. The most that we look at as far as the Philippine tilapia is on our frozen food sections at the Walmart. You know, we don't have tons of it around our corner. I get that. But you people who have a problem with Asians, you should really go after the ones that are an actual threat. You know, there's military coups, there's militias over there that have this huge belief for freedom fighting, who would love you to join them into killing the Chinese, or at least the CCP, those that are following CCP orders. You know, there's a lot of them in India. Head on over to India. There's a lot of people in India from all the way out to Nepal, where China is causing a bunch of problems. The Uyghurs are being, enslaved, for crying out loud. You want to do something against the Asians that are doing something bad, fine. Focus on the ones that are doing something bad. Focus on those people. Otherwise, cool out. Chill out. Enough is enough with your crap. We don't need your hate here. It's the second millennia already. The 2020s. If anything that has been proven is a complete dismal waste of time, it's to give in to hate. Look at the hate that was built up that made America with slaves, and hate towards other people, the indigenous, and then the Civil War. It was hate that had driven up to a very powerful country, and it's the same hate that's declining now. You look at all the cities, towns, and places of hate that currently exist, and they're dismal, they're disgusting, they're a waste of freaking time to even look at. And I'll give you an example. Here in Texas, we have a town called Vidor. It's a KKK town, and it was recognized back in the 90s as a town that would not accept a family adopting a black child. It was a black orphan. It was a child that needed love and care and needed a home. A white family adopted them, and the entire town turned on. And not just city officials, not just locals, nut bar locals. We're talking everything from an ordinary citizen to the local drunkard to the cops, law enforcement, to city officials, to county deputies. Okay, to the people that are in charge of the county in Vidor, Texas. That place, if you look at it now, is one of the worst places to go to economically, structurally. They don't have paved roads anymore. They're back to dirt roads. Housing, it's a horrible place to housing. They're mostly shacks now, sheds. Worthless land. It's all completely, it's worthless. It's crap. All because of the hate that they choose to live in. They hate the government. They're not paying their taxes. Therefore, they're not getting anything in return. They hate corporations. They're not giving into any factories. Therefore, there's no money in return. They hate taxes. They're not paying taxes. Therefore, there's no quarterly in return. And they certainly don't want integration. Integration being actually a hell of a lot more healthier because it toughens your immune system. And that's just one little segment in this nation of hate. This entire state used to be a slave-owning state. Texans and Tejanos, them alike. And it was eventually hate-driven after, even after Mexico whooped everybody's butts. Mexico being anti-slavery. It stated in their policies and everything. But as the years went by, everything concerning slavery to slave labor to, crap economy and all this other stuff, just made this state absolutely worthless. In fact, if it wasn't for the industrialization of oil, once oil was dug up, that started a chain reaction all over the state. Then came the trade, which is now in our border towns. And that's a booming economy. Agriculture, there's room for it. And then integration. God knows there's a lot of races down here. And religions. And Texas is still, now, its own, it still qualifies to be its own country. And it's all with the help of everybody that came down here and boosted the economy and boosted the way of living. So you've got this kind of thing going on where people of hate might actually be running around, but they sure as hell aren't ruling. There are people of hate that might even form an organization, if not a militia. But they have no real power. They really can't go up against somebody with real power. They can't even go against the street gang, to be totally honest. They can't go to toe with a street gang. They'll get their butts whooped. In fact, the only thing that people of hate, organizations of hate, are doing now are assaulting unarmed and defenseless migrants down at the border. That's it. That's how worthless living with hate, benefiting hate, feeding off of hate is. It's completely worthless. Which brings me right on back to this subject. This anti-Asian, anti-Pacific Islander hate. You gotta stop it. It isn't worth a damn. It is a completely worthless way to live. Oops, excuse me. So that's the deal right there. You got to stop attacking the wrong people. If you need an enemy, fine, go join a militia. There's plenty of them overseas that really need to take out the actual military hardened, combative hardened Chinese Communist Party that's now scattered all over various parts of the world, including our side of the world. And the last thing that they're doing is walking around collecting cans, waiting to get beat up. You understand? The last thing that they're doing is riding in subways, minding their own business. The last thing that they're doing are sending their senior citizens to and from church, like the senior citizen lady that got kicked to the ground in front of that store. You got to stop hating, and you got to start growing some balls, to be totally honest. Especially those douchebags that closed the door on that little Asian lady that was getting kicked on the sidewalk right in front of their door. All of y'all you need to grow some balls. You need to grow some balls badly. You suck donkey balls, boys. You are nothing but a bunch of pussies. I see something like that, first thing I'm doing is hitting them with my car. I just got this one too. But I don't care. That stuff has no business around here anymore. And that's coming from me, a Texan. You guys got to grow some fucking balls up there in New York. You guys are a bunch of wussies. But back to the subject. You got to, most importantly, you got to stop hating the American Asians and Pacific Islanders. They are normal people who will do their civic duty like normal people should, especially here in this country. You got them in hiding right now from the CCP. You guys with hate, you're not helping. These are scientists, these are doctors that came up with all this data for everybody to know how to tackle this, how to deal with, how for the other scientists to know how to create a vaccine. And they're in hiding. I think they're in hiding still because there's no mention of them after last year. There's no mention of them anymore. Last summer, actually. We're heading towards summer, the end of spring, towards summer right now. We're in the middle of spring right now. And last summer in 2020, we had Asian Americans here that are ratting out the CCP by exposing what, the virus, the extent of it, how far it's reached. And then they were faced with a demand to go back, to be extradited back to China with all their data, with all of the knowledge and information that they were sharing with us. See, people of hate, you need to shut up. You need to calm down. You need to quit the hate. Seriously, just knock it off, because you're not helping. You're not helping the situation at all. And again, those of you that just sat around and watch hate take place, you need to grow some balls. You need to grow some balls badly. Who the hell is afraid of a dude kicking an old lady? How in the name of God is that too scary? So scary that you have to close the door on that little old lady being kicked by a guy. You know what I'm saying? It is sad. That is just sad. You dickless people. You need to grow some balls, man. You need to grow some balls badly. Scolding aside, the most important thing is the Asian hate. Stop the Asian hate. Stop hating Asians. Especially normal, everyday Asians. They're not doing anything wrong. And they usually report when something is going wrong. They usually report it. That much is proof. If I had the exact dates and the exact names, I'd point them out again. But if you really want to know who they were, go back to Stop the Hate. You're hating the wrong people. You're attacking the wrong people anyway. That video. You go to that one. I've called out some names of some witnesses and people that have testified and people that are on the run and all this good stuff. Check that out, or do the research yourself. You might actually have more knowledge, more updated knowledge than I do. Me, I'm just a driver. I have to keep driving all over the place, so I'm not going to be able to do the thick research that many of you out there actually can. This phone is the most technological thing that I've got in my possession anyway. I'm not sure if I'd be able to produce PDF reports on this little bitty phone of mine. But, even if I can, you know what, I'm working right now. Right now I'm on my lunch break. I'm just doing the comments right now, sharing this information and spreading the word. Stop the hate. Stop hating these Asians. They are not doing anything wrong. They're reporting what's going on when it's wrong. They're reporting the wrongs. They're not putting the law into their own hands. They're actually reporting to the law like the way they're supposed to. Stop hating the Asians, especially right now. Especially while we've got one up on one type of vaccine and we're actually getting ready to tackle the variant. Stop the hate. Stop hating. You're attacking the wrong people anyway. Stop hating them. And I'm almost lost the voice, so Y'all take care. Take it easy. Keep being safe out there. Keep wearing your masks. I still wear my mask. I'm going to get back to work. Just a little lowly rideshare driver. Doing my thing. And hope y'all do yours very well. Y'all take it easy. Stay safe out there. Stop hating people. Stop hating the Asians. Asian citizens. You want to go to war with somebody, go to war with the CCP. They've got the guns and the bombs and all that stuff to raise your heart rates and give you a reason to be angry. Head on out anywhere that you see a trade post. Why I say that is because the CCP has put a military base right next to or in the vicinity of the trade posts that they are. They're even here in American waters. So, be careful, but focus your attention on them. Stop hitting the Asian Americans that are here on our side. Thank you very much. My time is coming to a close. Y'all stay safe out there. Stop hating. And grow some balls. And be safe. Take care. This is Chris with Chris's Comments. Out.